Unplug your cleaning routine with the Ryobi 18-volt 1 Plus cordless cleaning lineup. Our powerful and versatile tools make cleaning a breeze. One battery powers over 300 products, giving you the power to do more. Visit ryobitools.com to learn more, exclusively at the Home Depot.
Welcome to Make It Rain with Adam Schein on VSiN, the sports betting network.
Oh, yes, Tuesday edition of Make It Rain with Adam Schein here on VSiN. And my goodness, we have so much to do today. I mean, it's crazy. You thought Sunday night was amazing in sports. It's like Monday night said, hold my beer. That was absolutely incredible. And from a sports betting perspective, there are some stats and some facts and some figures that with the Knicks ultimately at the end of the day taking care of business and the Nuggets taking care of business. I mean, it's just absolutely positively insane what transpired when you look at it from an NBA standpoint. And those are two of the biggest upset special wins you will ever see. Ever see when you take a look at 10-point dogs in games where ebb and flow, they were left for dead. My goodness, absolutely positively incredible. We're going to get into my Maple Leafs. We'll get into our NBA and NHL plays for tonight. We will have Zach Cohen on as per usual. We got a lot of baseball to bet on later in the show. And let's start with my Knicks. Are you kidding me? Go New York, go New York, go. I thought this game was over. The New York Knicks were down by 20 points in this game. 20 points. Are you kidding me? 75-55. Knicks call a timeout. Jalen Brunson said after the game, Tom Thibodeau gave him the journey speech, don't stop believing. Then you saw my Knicks go on a run in terms of cutting it to 9 going into the fourth 20-9 run. Then they scored the first 8 points of the fourth quarter, and really just an explosive exclamation point of a dunk by OG to make it tied at 86. And then, my goodness, absolutely positively incredible in terms of the back and forth action. White hits a 3, OG hits a 3, Brunson, who Tom Thibodeau haters rested brilliantly at the beginning of the fourth quarter. Cap was hot, Cap was fresh, Cap was doing his thing as the ultimate closer, drained a couple of big threes. Then you have the give and go at the end of the game with Brunson and Cad, and Brunson missed the bank shot, missed the lay-in. And I'm thinking, oh, man, couldn't steal that one in regulation. Are we going to be able to do it in overtime? How about Mikal Bridges? Worth every single penny in terms of the contract, worth every single pick. I mean, he was rough in terms of the outside shooting for the first 4 quarters of the game. Overtime, made 5 monster plays worth all 5 first-round picks the Knicks gave to Brooklyn in that trade. You had the steal on Al Horford, made a monster 3, and then literally my guy Mikal Bridges ripped the basketball out of Jaylen Brown's hands at the end of that game. Absolutely, positively incredible to seal that deal. Just tremendous stuff. I mean, that is Mikal Bridges. And look, that's why the Knicks made the trade, because of the 3-and-D and the wings when it comes to OG Anunoby, trading your RJ Barrett for him last January in the middle of last season, then going out and signing Mikal Bridges. They traded him for the Boston series to beat Boston, to beat Tatum, to beat Brown, to get into the passing lanes, to play tremendous defense, to make plays, to hit big threes. OG Anunoby was terrific. He had 6 threes in the game, 29 points. Brunson had 29 points on, just incredible job with those monster threes. And to think the Knicks stole one and we don't have to give it back. That's the beauty of this. We don't have to give this back. It's just incredible here when you look at it. The Knicks were missing free throws under 50%. Joe Mazzulla, early in the game, went to the Hacka Mitch strategy, and Mitchell Robinson was missing free throws left and right. Karl Anthony Towns in foul trouble. The Knicks were getting crushed on the offensive glass, and it didn't matter, man. Just incredible. I mean, the Knicks were 9-point dogs going into this game. Boston was a massive favorite to win this game, win this series, and the New York Knicks able to win in overtime. And listen, if you're a Celtics fan, you've got to be sick. I mean, the most three-point misses, 45 misses from behind the arc in the history of the NBA postseason. Man, that was just absolutely rough stuff. Knicks were able to take advantage. Just incredible job here when you look at it by the Knicks, and brutal brain-dead operation on offense. I mean, how about Tatum, right? And we talk about Tatum as a star, and we gave him all sorts of props. You know, game 3, 4, and 5 against Orlando, won the chip last year, got over the hump, you know, had a terrific regular season. This is why he drives some NBA talking heads and Celtics fans alike absolutely insane, because of moments like this, where Jason Tatum, 7 of 23, 4 of 15 from 3, 5.5 to go in regulation, and he bricked a haphazard 3 instead of, you know, going and driving to the hole. He had good matchups in this one, but he's hanging on the perimeter. I mean, it was amateur hour. And Jaylen Brown was 1 of 10 from 3. And at some point, if you're Joe Mazzulla, this is on the coach too, you got to let the players know, stop shooting. You had good matchups in this one. I mean, I was thrilled as a Knicks fan, and you know, it's interesting when you look at the odds now for the rest of the series. Remember, yesterday at this exact time, Celtics were minus 800. It is now minus 340. It was plus 850 for the Knicks to win the series. It is now, ladies and gentlemen, plus 270. I said that the Celtics would win in 5. You know, I'm a diehard Knicks fan. Listen, I'm already rightfully going to take the L, and I'm thrilled to do this on that pick and prediction. I think the Knicks, and here's the beauty, I think the Knicks can play even better. And I called, you heard yesterday's Make It Rain with Adam Schein, I called this a must-win. I called this a must-win for New York if they were going to make this a series. And, you know, just incredible when you take a look at the ability to go out and step up and get it done. Josh Hart did an excellent job. Cat had a double-double, even with the foul trouble. And look, Vegas thinks, and I get it, that Boston's going to be able to bounce back. You know, the spread was 9 for game 1. It's now 10.5 for game 2. This is kind of like what happened in the Lakers and the Timberwolves series. Response to game 1, and LA was even more of a favorite in game number 2. I think, obviously, that, you know, the first 3 games, you know, the regular season were all lopsided, all more than 10.5 points. You know, but now it's Kristaps Porzingis, who Joe Mazzulla said today is day-to-day, and he left the game yesterday with a mystery illness. And if you're a Celtics fan, I mean, that's concerning, and that's obviously problematic. So, you know, I think New York has a real shot to make this a series. I'm not going to get on Planet Delusional. I still think Boston's a better team. But I will say, and I've said this all year, we'll get into Cleveland later in the show, last night is proof to me why Boston can't and won't win a championship. Because of the way they have too many of these games this year, they're too 3-ball reliant, and on nights that the shot doesn't go in, a team can sneak up and bite you. You know, OKC, winner of the West, a healthy Cleveland team, or maybe, just maybe, my Knicks. I mean, the Knicks are hot. The Knicks are confident. The Knicks are playing brilliantly on the road. And I'll tell you, I thought that the Knicks being 0-4 against Boston in the regular season would matter negatively for New York. I think it mattered negatively for Boston, because I think that they just thought, especially late in the game, just roll out the ball and they'll be able to win based upon talent and precedent. Not the case. Knicks energy, effort, Tom Thibodeau, Jalen Brunson, absolutely amazing. Anunoby and Bridges, just off the charts, amazing. A tremendous win for my Knicks last night. So that was a monster upset special, and so was Denver in OKC. Another game I thought was over. Knicks down 20, I thought it was over. Denver down double digits throughout, I thought it was over. And honestly, the person who gets the goat horns in this one is Mark Dagnall, the coach for OKC. This was one of the worst coaching decisions I have ever seen. 119-116. OKC is up. Denver does not have any timeouts left. And Jokic is on the bench, and I thought Adelman made a bad decision putting him on the bench in that spot. Put him on the bench because of the 5 fouls. but there was a risk involved that they could lose the game down 3 Denver ball with Jokic not seeing the floor. And for some reason, Dagnall decided to get into a free throw game. And the only way Jokic could get back in is if they fouled. Worst case scenario, if Denver hit a 3, Jokic is on the bench and the game is tied. You don't lose. You know, that's why you don't paint with a broad brush. Oh, up 3, you must foul. No, it's time, it's situation. No timeouts left. Obviously, you see that Jokic at the end of the day is on the bench. That is a complete and utter brain fart. You can't do that. You can't do that. And how about the execution? They foul on that play. Gordon hits a couple of free throws to make it a 1-point game. Chet gets fouled. They go into the free throw game. He misses both, which was absurd. And then, my goodness, Denver goes to work. And you see Brown with the outlet pass to Russ, who got a standing ovation from the OKC crowd earlier. Kicks it out to Aaron Gordon. Bam! And he is so tough and so clutch, and Denver absolutely stole one. Jokic was amazing, even despite all those fouls. Crazy sequence where he had 3 in a row, which was just insane. 42 points, 22 rebounds, 6 assists. Gordon was absolutely tremendous, and this was a killer for OKC. They got everything they wanted. SGA was terrific. Crowd was amazing. Williams was strong. Caruso was strong. The coach absolutely killed him. Now, I'm not going to overreact when you look at the series odds here, right? I said OKC in 6. I'll take them in 6, right? I will continue to take them in 6. But this is one. Denver just had this unbelievably difficult series, 7-game series, and it ended on a Saturday. Fly to OKC on a Sunday, have to play on a Monday. You had the game and you lost it. I mean, if you're the Thunder, it was all there for you. Look, I still think OKC bounces back, but the coach absolutely killed OKC last night.
Ryobi now makes floor-to-ceiling cleaning easier than ever with cordless cleaning tools, powered by 18-volt ONE+ batteries. Whether it's a quick tidy-up or deep cleaning, our powerful and versatile tools make cleaning a breeze. Spend less time cleaning and more time enjoying your pristine home. And because one battery powers over 300 products, you have the power to do more. Visit ryobitools.com to learn more. Sold exclusively at the Home Depot.
You're watching Make It Rain on VSiN, the sports betting network.
Smarter bets start here. Last all year long with VSiN Pro. For a limited time, we're slashing the price of our annual subscription. Normally $240, now just $199. When you sign up today, we're going to throw in 2 extra months for free. 14 months of the VSiN Pro access for less than 50 cents a day. When you use the promo code PRO, get 14 months of access to our daily best bets, VSiN hosts and guests, exclusive splits from DraftKings and Circa, 24/7 live video, and a full show replay. It's amazing on the VSiN Watch app, plus all of our special edition betting guides. They are superb. Go to VSiN.com, subscribe now. Use the promo code PRO. Lock in the 14 months of VSiN Pro for just $199. VSiN.com/subscribe. Welcome back. Make It Rain with Adam Schein. And what a night last night in the National Hockey League. And what a night tonight in the NHL and the NBA. Let's shine on some NBA and NHL Tuesday bets. And first, I was just obsessed with what transpired with the Maple Leafs and obviously Florida. Now, we all know what happened last night with Panthers forward Sam Bennett. He denied any quote-unquote ill intent as he elbowed the Leafs goalie in the head during Game 1 of their second-round Eastern Conference playoff series on Monday. Bennett collided with Anthony Stolarz in midway through the second period. Florida power play opportunity. No penalty was called on the play. Stolarz remained briefly in the net before going to the bench. He was clearly out of it, clearly sick, exited from the game, taken to a local hospital, admitted that he, quote-unquote, feels bad, and had to be hospitalized because of the collision. You know, after the game, they said it was never any intent to injure. At the same time, hockey is a physical game, all part of the sport. Looked pretty malicious and vicious to me. So we'll have to wait and see what Stolarz' availability is for the game coming up tomorrow. I will say, as someone who has picked the Leafs and continues to back and bet on the Leafs, and, you know, you look at it, and it was plus 110 when we bet it yesterday before Make It Rain with Adam Schein. Listen, it's disrespect. And I know Florida won the Cup last year, and even if the goalie can't play and they got to go to the backup, I still expect Toronto to be able to take care of business. And I love the fact it was a weird game, right? 3-1 after the first period, then the injury and the controversy. Then in the third, this is normally when Toronto's at its worst, when they have to deal with adversity, but that was clearly not the case. So really impressed and really obsessed with what the Maple Leafs were able to do. Look, we said as you take a look at the series odds board that you would see the Maple Leafs win this series in 6. We're going to stay with our prediction. You can get that at plus 500. And I believe, again, there is now at least a betting variable quotient when it comes to the health of the goalie for Toronto, but we will stay with that prediction. Hurricanes of the Capitals series is going to start tonight. Very much looking forward to that. And I expect the Capitals to win tonight. I expect that Alexander Ovechkin will put his stamp on this one with a few points and a goal. I expect Washington to beat the Hurricanes tonight. I expect Washington to beat the Hurricanes. We will call this one in 5. I believe that this is going to be a 5-game series. I do not believe that the Carolina is at the same level as Washington. Somehow, some way, Washington is the dog tonight, so we will make sure that we bet Washington on the money line. That joint's going to be jumping at Capital One Arena. That is a great home ice advantage. And again, I'm all in on Washington here. Washington in 5. There's a lot of juice, plus 800. So you betcha when it comes to the Capitals beating the Hurricanes coming up in 5 games. Oilers Golden Knights is going to be a lot of fun. That's going to be a terrific, terrific series. All our friends in Vegas, you know, they're going to the game tonight. Our audio director, Sean, will be there. I know Stormy is taking JVT to the game, teach him a little bit about hockey, little money moves outing for everyone involved with that show. That'll be fun. And I love the Oilers, and you know that I do, and I'm still picking Edmonton to win the Stanley Cup, and I still believe that will be the case. And, you know, I've got a couple of winners tonight that, you know, there's juice. You know, Edmonton is a dog in this one. I'm going to take the Oilers at plus 114. Vegas is an excellent team, and they are certainly well-rounded in every way, and that's a legit home ice advantage. But when it's McDavid and Draisaitl and, you know, Hyman, this team could win in Canada, America, Vegas, the moon. It doesn't matter. So I believe that you're going to see the Oilers win this one in 6 games. 6 games at plus 425. Just like they beat LA in 6, we will take Edmonton in 6 games at plus 425. We've got a basketball series that starts tonight with the Warriors and the Timberwolves. And listen, I am so fired up for this one. I think when you talk about storylines, and there are so many in this series, Anthony Edwards just beat LeBron James and Luka Doncic. Now he gets Steve Kerr, Steph Curry, and Jimmy Butler, Draymond Green, and the Golden State Warriors. You know, you could debate, you know, face of this, status of that. Anthony Edwards beats Steph Curry after beating LeBron. That takes however you want to rank it and frame it and phrase it to an entirely different level. And I made the mistake, I don't regret it, by the way, but I made a mistake of picking the LA Lakers against Minnesota. I won't make that mistake again. I'm going to take the Minnesota Timberwolves. I'm going to take Minnesota tonight. I'm going to take Minnesota. And I think they will be able to take care of business, and Anthony Edwards has a monster game. I think that crowd tonight in Minnesota is going to be on fire. I can't believe I'm saying this, but based upon how they've played, I think tonight, and matchup, I think it's another explosive night from Rudy Gobert. I think he's got a really good matchup in this one. Julius Randle and DiVincenzo have been excellent in the postseason and tough and clutch. I love what I'm seeing from Reed. I love what I'm seeing from McDaniel. Connolly is such a savvy vet. I think they have the dudes and the dude in Anthony Edwards to combat here what we're looking at when it comes to the experience and the domination of the Golden State Warriors. And, what Golden State just did was noteworthy, and how they did it was, frankly, even more noteworthy. And Curry is an all-timer, and he's top 10 on any list all-time. You could just debate what number he is in the all-time pecking order. But, I don't think these Warriors are great. And I think that when Minnesota plays to that level that we saw against L.A., Minnesota is better. So I'm going to take the Timberwolves in 6 here. I'm going to take them in 6, a plus 475. That is the official Make It Rain with Adam Schein prediction. I would frankly love to see Steph Curry advance. I'd love to see him win another championship, because I believe that in addition to living in the LeBron era, we're all living in the Steph era as well. And that's the way to frame it and phrase it. But I think Minnesota's better, cohesive, feel like they feel like they could have and should have won last year and beat Dallas. I think they have unfinished business. I think their home court is sensational. So we're going to keep on rolling here with the Minnesota Timberwolves. Pacers, Cavs, game 2 tonight. And I want you guys to feast your eyes on the injury report, because this is noteworthy. You have Darius Garland, who did not play in game number 1, questionable with the toe. Evan Mobley, questionable ankle. DeAndre Hunter, questionable with the thumb. This is problematic. This is not great. It's one thing if Garland can't go. It's another if Mobley can't go. If Mobley, I'm not touching this game tonight. I can't. Based upon the injury report, I can't bet on this game. My gut after game 1 was, okay, Cleveland has the ability to bounce back. I'm picking the Cavs to win the Eastern Conference. I've said that for the vast majority, 3/4 of the season. Preseason, it was OKC and the Knicks. I had Cleveland as a top 3 team in the East. I quickly changed to Cleveland probably around December, January. I just love what the Cavs do and love what they do at home. But listen, it's a tough spot. Because Indiana's that good. They're cohesive. They're smart. They're well coached. Halliburton is tremendous. It's the Josh Allen overrated my ass conversation. He just takes his game to a different level. 6 players in double figures last game, and McConnell and Toppin weren't in double figures, and they have the ability to contribute in every possible way. Pacers have no fear. Now, I'm still going to stay with my prediction here of the Cavs. I'm not going to get off it. Donovan Mitchell over 30 points in 8 consecutive playoff games. That moves ahead of Michael Jordan, which is noteworthy. They can still find a way to win. Mitchell can be the best player on the floor. I don't feel great betting this one, but I am still going to roll here with the Cleveland Cavaliers for tonight.
You're watching Make It Rain on VSiN, the Sports Betting Network.
Betting to the next level with First Bets, whether it's Santa Anita, the Gulfstream Park, or the roads to Triple Crown. First Bet puts the action at your fingertips. Sign up now, firstbets.com. That's the number one, stbet.com. Use the promo code VSiN to score 20% rebate on all your wagers in the first 60 days. Save up to $200. Home is out. Bet smarter today. Firstbets.com. Welcome back, Make It Rain with Adam Schein. Joining us right now live on the Progressive Guest Line. You know him, you love him, you can't live without him. Our guy, the iconic Zach Cohen, VSiN writer, betting analyst, sports enthusiast. Z-Train, how are you?
I'm good. How are you doing?
I'm doing great, Z-Train. And how can I not be? My Knicks left for dead by the haters, the critics, the Twitter tough guys, the Zach Cohens of the world, as I'm following at Betting on X during the game. By the way, I didn't think we were coming back down 20 either, but my goodness. And I think there's a couple of different ways to spin this, right? Look, Boston was atrocious. I mean, missed 45 threes. That's the most in playoff history. I never thought the Knicks down 75-55 were going to come back in this one. Cat's in foul trouble. And you saw the Knicks missing free throws left and right, which was absolutely insane. And the offensive glass, I mean, they were just getting mauled. What was the turning point for you in terms of the Knicks being able to not only cover, but find a way to absolutely stun Boston and win this game?
Well, I think a lot of it was on Boston. I think the shot selection just got, continuously worse throughout the game. I thought early in the game, they were hunting Brunson a lot with Brown and Tatum. Those guys were kind of getting into the mid-range, bumping him off and knocking down shots really easily. As the game went on, they started to settle for more threes, especially Tim. I thought he was getting a lot of matchups that he would have been, ecstatic to get before the game. If you told him he was getting, Brunson on the perimeter, Robinson on the perimeter, he would have loved that. But he was, settling for step-back threes no matter who was on him instead of going to the basket. And I do think the Knicks, wings started to play a little bit better defensively off the ball and just made it a little bit harder on him to drive to the basket. But in game two, I'm expecting him to be a lot more aggressive going to the basket. I know Joe Mazzulla said that he was really happy with their shot selection, but I don't know how he can be. I know, they went 7 for 24 or whatever it was on uncontested threes. That will be better moving forward, but they do need to do a better job of just driving to the basket and, making things easier on themselves.
100%. We saw the same game. And look, I mean, I thought Boston blew it, and the Knicks were able to take advantage. OG, Bridges, Brunson with those massive threes, and obviously leading the way. Give Tom Thibodeau credit. So I'm curious, Z-Train, what was your pick before this series? Mine, as an example, was Boston in 5. And I already think that I'm wrong on that. I still think the Celtics will win the series. I don't think anymore it will be 5 games, but I still am going to take Boston. What was your bet? What was your pick? What are you thinking today?
I was with you. I had Celtics minus 2.5 games. I thought it would be 5 or less. I still think Boston wins. Maybe it's bumped up to 6 now. I will say I had 3 of my 4 series plays. I believe I lost in game 1 or were decided in game 1 because I also had the Thunder minus 2.5 games. Then I had the Pacers plus 2.5 games. So I feel like I did, I probably won that one by them stealing that road game 1, but I probably lost the Thunder and the Celtics.
All right, let's get into OKC and Denver. And, man, that was one that was completely ebb and flow stunning as well. I mean, it's kind of crazy. I mean, one of those great wild nights in sports betting where, you see an underdog in the Knicks come all the way back and find a way to win on the money line, obviously. And same with the Nuggets. I mean, they're down double digits. Everything's going right for the Thunder. And even if Denver had chances and a real chance to cover late, and I never expected them to win, like that to me was not even on the radar until Mark Daigneault did what he did at the end, and how they decide to foul there to stop the clock and get Jokic back in. I mean, up 3, I thought that was amateur hour. What did you see last night from OKC in Denver?
Yeah, so same with you. I do not know what Daigneault was doing. I'm a big proponent of fouling up 3. That's like when there's 10 seconds left in a game. You have to let the other team take some time off the clock. Otherwise, you're just putting too much pressure on your own players to inbound the ball, make free throws. And it, got to a point where it was Chet Holmgren at the line. He looked really uncomfortable. It looked like he would have been lucky to make one of those 2. And you ended up giving away the game with those decisions. And I do think that bigger picture, the more concerning thing to me for OKC is that kind of the worst nightmare of everything that we kind of thought with this team happened, where Jalen Williams did not look the part of a real number two. Chet Holmgren did not look comfortable offensively. I think that's the stuff that you worry about moving forward. I still think the Thunder win this series. I was telling you off the air, I believe, a Thunder Celtics parlay at -135, which is available right now, is a really good way to attack these, game one mishaps. But I do think that the Thunder look, somewhat vulnerable for the next round. And now, looking forward to the NBA championship.
All right, same drill as we just did with the Celtics and the Knicks. What was your read on the Nuggets and the Thunder? And look, I still am going to stay with my prediction and my bet, which was OKC in 6. And I'm picking OKC and have all year long to win everything. I do have a lot of respect for Denver and who they are and how much better they've played without Mike Malone. What they've done post Malone has been ridiculously impressive to me. So what was your pick and your bet, and what are you looking at right now?
Yeah, this is another one. I had a Thunder -2.5 games. I thought it'd be over in 5 or less. Now I think, at the very least, we're going to see Denver win one game at home, which is what I thought originally. So probably looking at 6 or 7 now.
It's going to be fascinating to see how this ultimately transpires, and I would expect that the Thunder bounce back. We talk at length about, whether or not they have playoff experience. That, to me, has never been a factor in terms of my analysis. That was one where I think the coaching, you made a good point on Williams and Chet's. To me, it was all about the coaching. Better coaching at the end. They find a way to win. Shea was unreal. SGA hit my prop on the over last night. We loved that play. That was one of our G-Bank best bets. But my goodness, that was tough. There were so many things. It's different than Boston. With Boston, so many things went wrong. With OKC, so many things went right, and they still lost that game. So that was problematic here. How about the Warriors and the Timberwolves? And you know what they're saying, Z-Train. You get all the tweets in your direction. You could run for office right now in Minnesota. I mean, everyone loves you. You've been backing the T-Wolves all year. I have to assume you're still picking the Timberwolves to win this series, right?
Yeah, this is one of my bigger plays is Minnesota -170 to win the series. It's still out there -180, -185. I'd be looking to take that. I think it's a really good value. I know that we don't attach, the words good value to a play like -180, but it's really just about win probability. And I think there's a much higher chance than that Minnesota wins this series. I just think we saw Golden State struggle with a defensive-minded team last series. They were able to win in 7. In the end, the shot making of Steph Curry and just kind of the experience of that team ended up being the difference. I don't think that they have a huge shot making advantage over Minnesota. They're going to have Anthony Edwards and Julius Randle as late shot clock guys that can create offense for themselves. That's something the Rockets didn't have. And I think that this Minnesota team's a really good 3-point shooting team. So I think that the Timberwolves get this done is playing at home. And I do think that the Warriors are going to be a little banged up, midway through this series after a grueling series against the Rockets. This is a really, older core for Golden State. That's going to catch up to them at some point.
You summed it up perfectly. How about game 2 tonight with the Pacers and the Cleveland Cavaliers? And Z-Train, I liked Cleveland still due to win this series. I said 6 games, so we'll stay with it. But my goodness, I thought Cleveland was going to win game 1 by double digits. That was not the case. The injury report scares the hell out of me tonight for Cleveland. I personally am not touching this game tonight. I expect Cleveland to win, but I'm not touching this one in terms of the game. Maybe a prop on Donovan Mitchell later. What are you looking at tonight with the Pacers and the Cavs?
Yeah, so I was fortunate. I took Indiana plus 10.5, and it's all the way down at 7.5 now. I would wait for the injury report. Like you said, there's some dangerous stuff going on with the Cavaliers. Kenny Atkinson said yesterday that he views doubtful and questionable as interchangeable terms, and they have 3, really key players listed as questionable tonight. So we might not see Hunter, Mobley, or Garland. Who knows if 2 or 3 or even 1 of 3 of those guys are out? It's going to be difficult for them to cover a big number. This Pacers team is better than the Cavaliers on the defensive end of the floor. And without Garland, Cleveland is not much better offensively. So they need to get him back. His shot creation is so important. I think the Pacers now look like a good play in the series at plus money odds just because of the uncertainty on the Cleveland side.
Z-Train, how about it? A-Rod's going to have Z-Train, by the way, sitting next to him coming up in Minnesota, probably for game 2. That would be my bet. I mean, Z-Train is Mr. Timberwolf, and I get it.
Unplug your cleaning routine with the Ryobi 18 Vault One Plus cordless cleaning lineup. From tackling bathroom tile with the soap dispensing telescoping power scrubber, to cleaning wet and dry messes with the 2-in-1 Wet Dry Swift Clean Stick Vacuum, to cleaning up pet hair and debris with our advanced stick vacuum, Ryobi has a solution for every cleaning task. And because one battery powers over 300 products, you have the power to do more. Visit ryobitools.com to learn more. Sold exclusively at the Home Depot.
You're watching Make It Rain on VSiN, the sports betting network.
The old Profit X is offering the best odds all baseball season long. Profit X is a peer-to-peer sports exchange available in 40-plus states, first of its kind in the United States. You're going to be able to make your sports picks against other groups of fans rather than against sports books. Exchanges guarantee the best odds on average by 10 to 20%. You can even request your own odds. Download Profit X today with the code VSiN. Earn up to $200 in profit cash over your first month. Welcome back. Make It Rain with Adam Schein. Time for our news, notes, nuggets, and nightly plays. And the Baltimore Ravens have released the All-Pro kicker, Justin Tucker. And I know that they were trying to talk at length in their press release about how this was, in fact, a decision that was strictly football and that was stated time and time again. But let's also make sure that we do not bury the lead here. Justin Tucker has been accused of misconduct by 16 massage therapists from 8 high-end spas and wellness centers in the Baltimore area. This, according to the Baltimore Banner, and all the alleged misconduct reportedly occurred between 2012 and 2016, Tucker's first 5 seasons in the National Football League. NFL is ongoing an investigation for sexual misconduct. Eric DaCosta said that this is a football decision and stressed it on numerous occasions. And look, Justin Tucker is a first ballot Hall of Famer. Justin Tucker, in theory, is going into the Ring of Honor and/or is going to have his number retired by the Baltimore Ravens. There's a case to be made that the 8-time All-Pro is, in fact, the single greatest kicker in the history of the National Football League. The highest career field goal percentage in NFL history, 89%. That's for kickers with a minimum of 100 attempts. Now, Justin Tucker also did not perform well last year. So I think that that is a way where they can go ahead and they can make the move and talk about it from a football perspective. And when you take a look at the Ravens draft class, remember, we talked about this in real time, they drafted Tyler Loop to replace Justin Tucker in the 6th round, the kicker out of Arizona. The Ravens draft class was vintage Eric DaCosta, Malachi Starks, right out of Central Casting, safety, Georgia, SEC. Mike Green fell because of major issues off the field. Also, sexual misconduct investigations, a couple of them. So that's something to obviously keep your eye on as well. In addition to the over-under win total, which is what this comes down to for us on a sports betting platform. And listen, the over of 11.5 at minus 110, absolutely, to me, is still very much in play when it comes to the Baltimore Ravens for this upcoming season. Well, I was wishing that the best bets of the Padres money line did not cash last night, but it did. And honestly, I was thrilled. And I was locked into all the NBA, sprinkling in a little hockey last night. But, I'm a diehard Yankees fan. I picked the Padres on the money line, a plus 140 last night on Make It Rain with Adam Schein. All the picks are always up on VSiN.com. And up 3-0, and Aaron Boone, noted buffoon, couldn't manage his way out of a paper bag. Devin Williams, I thought that deal was amazing. It's been a complete and utter disgrace and a bust, and he has been wretched for my New York Yankees. And that was rough stuff when you look at it, and a waste of what happened with Carlos Rodon. Credit the Padres for how they were able to come back, but this felt more anti-New York than anything else. Former Yankee Michael King is going to start for the Padres tonight. He will be going up against Clark Schmidt, who is very talented. Scratched over the weekend. They said it wasn't a big deal. He would start Tuesday against the San Diego Padres, and that is going to be the case tonight for New York and for San Diego. Good news, bad news for the Dodgers last night, and they got a win. And you saw what transpired with Shohei Ohtani with that laser home run, 118 miles per hour. We talked about this yesterday with our guy Greg Peterson on Make It Rain with Adam Schein, how much I like that Ohtani prop for him to go yard. Flair for the dramatic, playing on South Beach. And Teoscar Hernandez exited the game early, set for an MRI. And we'll have to see. He's obviously such a key cog on that offensive wheel for Dave Robertson and the LA Dodgers. Dodgers and Marlins will do battle again tonight in Miami. Once again, not a fair fight. By the way, last night, you take a look at it, Sandy Alcantara got rocked again. Dodgers have a golden opportunity with the game tonight to continue to get fat against the inferior teams in Major League Baseball. I mean, the Miami Marlins is just an absolute waste of time and a disgrace to professional sports. Philadelphia Phillies are at the Rays tonight. Anytime I have the ability to bet on Zach Wheeler, that is a big-time positive in my world. It's going to be Wheeler against Rasmussen, and it's Phillies and the Rays, and it's going to be Philly minus 135 on the money line, and we love Philadelphia. I'm sure there'll be a lot of Phillies fans there, outdoors at the Yankee minor league facility. It's an embarrassment that the Rays have to play in a minor league ballpark that isn't even theirs. I mean, excellent stuff from Zach Wheeler over the course of his career, pitching against inferior teams, and I think they'll be able to take care of business once again tonight for the Philadelphia Phillies. Braves-Reds lived up to the hype that we talked about with Greg Peterson yesterday, and Atlanta was able to take care of business. Pitchers duel last night, very low scoring, and it's a good one tonight with Chris Sale and Andrew Abbott on the bump. And it's a heavily favored game for the Atlanta Braves. Would not be surprised. Braves are quietly playing much better. I don't even want to say hitting their stride. Let's just say quietly playing better right now. And I think that Chris Sale will be able to take care of business tonight for the Atlanta Braves. Happy Paul Skeens night to all those who observe. You can get his strikeouts, by the way, over 6.5 at plus 115 on DraftKings, and that seems like a pretty nice play tonight for Major League Baseball and Paul Skeens. Pirates minus 115, Cardinals minus 105. In essence, a flip of the coin and a pick'em game. The under feels like it should be in play. Pirates have a way of doing zany things whenever Skeens is on a bump. I'll just have a play on the over for strikeouts tonight for Skeens. Justin Verlander on the bump for the Giants going up against Cubs in Chicago. And this one feels like it's going to be a bit of a bloodbath. I kind of like the over in this one. I think the Cubs and Kyle Tucker and company will look at Verlander as batting practice. Colin Ray can get hits by the Giants, who are not playing at the level they were first 2-3 weeks of the season, but can obviously still swing. I think the over would be in play tonight, in addition to the money line for the Chicago Cubs. And finally, Mets Diamondbacks in Arizona. David Peterson, Zach Gallen, Mets with another victory last night. Great night last night for all the orange and blue in New York. Islanders able to win the draft lottery. Mets get a win. And, of course, the Knicks doing their thing. Diamondbacks minus 112. I'm not going to touch this one, but that would be the lean. Arizona with Zach Gallen on the bump, minus 112 to take it to the New York Mets. Time right now to give out our best bets. It's brought to you by G-Bank. Get the G-Bank Visa signature card today. Most credit cards treat the old sportsbook and the gaming transactions as cash advances. That's even when you put your own money on the card. G-Bank treats gaming transactions as purchases, so you're set up to 3 to 5% on the cash advance fees on the gaming transactions right there. Also with G-Bank, you're earning 1% cash back rewards on all the eligible sportsbook and gaming transactions, and 2% cash back rewards on all the eligible purchases. Apply now at VSiN.com/GBank. VSiN.com/GBank. Yesterday, we had 5 best bets, went 3-2. And if you hit them, you were on the right side of history with the juice that was attached. We're going to go with Donovan Mitchell over 29.5 points. My friend Phil Simms once said this, that if it rains for 29 straight days, you bring an umbrella on day 30. You don't check the weather, you just carry an umbrella. Donovan Mitchell has 8 straight playoff games, 30 or more, so we will bring the umbrella and literally make it rain. Anthony Edwards over 27.5 points, minus 125. And how about Seth Lugo, very underrated, facing the hapless Chicago White Sox tonight. Under 5.5 hits allowed, minus 120. You know I love the Kansas City Royals. Stay tuned to VSiN after Make It Rain for Follow the Money. Mitch and Paulie, my goodness, these guys are on one hell of a heater as always. VSiN's Jonathan Davis is going to join the boys tonight, give his best bets for the second round of the NHL postseason. Then it's VSiN Primetime with Timmy Murray. And then stick around for Cashing Out with Joe Serralo, 11 p.m. Eastern Time. Thanks to Sean and all the guys in our Vegas studio. Thanks to our incredible producer, the great Michael Cohen. We will talk to you mañana. Make it rain with Adam Schein.
Ryobi now makes floor-to-ceiling cleaning easier than ever with cordless cleaning tools powered by 18-volt 1+ batteries. Whether it's a quick tidy-up or deep cleaning, our powerful and versatile tools make cleaning a breeze. Spend less time cleaning and more time enjoying your pristine home. And because one battery powers over 300 products, you have the power to do more. Visit ryobitools.com to learn more. Sold exclusively at the Home Depot.